Mr. Stuart Avis from Beat the Clock Records.
Hello, Vaughn.
It's good to meet you in person.
Yeah, finally in the flesh. Yes.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Who would have thought all those months ago when we first chatted on Zoom?
So guys, as you remember, a few weeks ago I did an interview with Stuart here regarding the Alan Wilder vinyl collection that was up for sale, and that happened on August the 18th.
That's right, yeah. In this very room we expanded beyond our normal shop space and was able to utilise some of the barber space that's here as well. So we kind of had the key stuff, if you like, further in the door, just really so we didn't crowd everyone at the door, because we knew the mute record stuff and the electronic stuff is going to be the obvious appeal to Depeche Mode fans. So of course those are going to be the first boxes people would make a beeline for, so we put them in further in here, which was great, and it was just a fantastic vibe on the day.
There were a lot of people that came.
There was, yeah. I mean, they were queuing up the stairs and round the corner, and it was really good spirits. There was no sort of bun fights or anything like that for
Big Friday.
Yeah, because there was a couple of sort of really interesting bits in there, things I'd never seen before, and I've been buying stuff on mute myself for over 40 years now, and there was things I'd never seen before. There was a Yazoo Don't Go 12-inch, which I think was Greek, I think it might have been, which also had Situation on, and I'd never seen that, and I was a very good boy and didn't keep it because it was tempting.
Well, you said there were over 4,000 pieces for sale.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
Obviously we'll do some filming just now. A lot of that is still available.
Yeah.
And a lot of it did sell as well.
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of the stock went on the day, but because there was just so much of it, we just couldn't sell it all because people just couldn't buy it all. There's just too much to buy. So it's quite interesting that what's left as well isn't dregs or anything like that. I mean, there's great, practically unplayed Bowie albums and things like that in there. Really good stuff. It's just that, there was just so much of it to buy.
Yeah. I mean, I've just had a quick look through there, and I might pick up a few things on the way out. So I'm saying to you guys, if you're in the area, come and check out Stuart's Beat the Clock Records. And he's moving to a new premises, which we're going to talk about a little bit later as well. But I want to just circle back to something we spoke about on the first chat we had together. And guys, you can see that video in the link in the description below. You said there were two pieces. I think there was Alan's first record, and you didn't know how if you were going to sell it, or you didn't know how to price it. Have you still got it? Have you sold it?
It did go.
Okay.
It did go on the day. We did a silent auction on that, so I couldn't possibly give the figure.
And I wouldn't expect you to, but I was wondering how you would have done. So you did a silent auction.
Yeah, basically, it just seemed to be the only really practical way of being able to do it. It's something you couldn't put a price on, like the same with the Hendrix album that he sort of made a custom sleeve.
Did that sell as well?
It did. Yes, yeah. So we did that with those two items, just because I really had no idea where to start. And the great thing about a silent auction is you don't necessarily have that competition. So it's not going to be the two richest people fighting against it, because I didn't want that. I really wanted to avoid that. But also you have to avoid the thing of, a dealer paying £50 for it or something and then putting it on eBay 2 hours later at 1,000.
Yes.
So we wanted to make sure it went to fans, and I'm really pleased to say it did go to a big fan.
That's great.
Both of those records did, and that was quite heartwarming, and they're over the moon, which is brilliant. We also, everybody on the day as well. I recognised one dealer on the day. That was it. It was. The place was full of people with Depeche Mode t-shirts. Caught people singing along, having a little boogie, because obviously we played Depeche Mode music in here all day. I went super geeky with it. I started with the live version of Tora Tora Tora, because that's the earliest released recording with Alan Wilder on. Obviously, we went super geeky, and we got as far as Songs of Faith and Devotion before it was time to go home. So.
As I say, it was. I was in the UK, and I had just flown back a couple of days before, so it's a pity I missed it. But I did get word from some people that were there, some of my subscribers, and they said they really enjoyed it, and
Yeah, it was such a wonderful atmosphere, you know. And I mean, like I said to you when we previously spoke, you know, worst case scenario, I'll spend the day speaking to Depeche Mode fans, which I did, and it was brilliant. So, and yeah, I think everybody, that was what was great, was everybody that came in, bar that one guy, was a fan. That's what they were here for. They wanted a piece of history, something that would mean something to them, just a nice keepsake, you know, which, you know, it's all gone to fans' homes, which is brilliant. That dealer only bought 2 records.
Well, that's nice, as you say. And when you said dealer, it made my brain go to the Oasis ticket thing at the moment.
Oh, yeah, we didn't dynamically price anything, you know. Yeah, we didn't suddenly see the queue around the door and suddenly put an extra tenner on everything. No, we avoided that.
Right, a change of angle. Here we are in your store.
Yes, the humble store. Yes, where you know, this is my day to day. We still have. This is where we keep the remainders of Alan's collection over there, and so here's my regular stock. We had to take all this out on the day, but for 2 reasons. Firstly, there wasn't really the space, but also we didn't want to confuse the stock. You know, people were very much coming in to make sure they got something of Alan's, and so we just thought it's best to avoid confusion, and it introduced the shop to a lot of people, and they've come back, and of course, so now there's a load of stuff they haven't seen as they've come back for us.
It makes perfect sense. So, guys, if you're in the Hove area, do make a point to come and see Stuart. And what I love about you, Stuart, is you get the record shops, you get the big chains and the brands. I'm not going to mention them, but I love your whole vibe, because you're like grassroots. You are like the real deal and part of this. And so Stuart's well worth supporting. And if you are here, shameless self-promotion, you can pick up a copy of my Dark Society vinyl, which is signed. We have some copies and some CDs. It's not so you can pick up one of those or 2, and then you can check out some of the Alan Wilder stuff, which we'll look at in a moment. But also something we want to look at after this is you're going to take us across the road to your new premises, because full disclosure, this is actually inside a barber's, and I love it's really charming the way you do that.
Yeah, I mean, and the great thing, I mean, what's really worked, I think, with the barbers here, I mean, that was built 1890, last refurbished 1936, so that's got a nice retro vintage vibe to it, which of course fits well with vinyl.
Yes.
So it's worked really well, but sadly I've got so much stock now, and an opportunity has arisen over the road for a much bigger shop. So on September the 21st we'll be reopening over there, and I mean, we're open now, but we'll be the grand reopening at the new venue.
And when I'm back in October, I'm going to come and see you there.
You must.
Fantastic.
I will insist. Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Well, listen, let's go over there and have a look at some of the Alan Wilder stuff.
Okay, so this is probably some of the more interesting stuff. I mean, it's all interesting, really, but for fans that want something that was very specific for Alan Wilder, these albums here still have. He wrote his name on these as a teen, and I think we showed some in our previous video.
That's a typical thing you do as a teen. You always write your name on something. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this at this time, sort of, I mean, 73, 74. What you take your records around a friend's house, you take them to parties. You know, obviously we didn't have as much as I can moan about streaming. It's kind of a luxury as well. There is a convenience, you know, if you want to introduce somebody to a piece of music now, there is that to it. But yes, but back in 50 years ago, you had to literally take the record round to someone, or hope they would hear it on the radio to hear it. But so yeah, there's quite a few of that, and there's he's a massive Alex Harvey fan, as people will know from his cover of Faith Healer on the Bloodline album, and so there's quite a bit of that. We've still got.
It's a very diverse collection. Yeah, usually when you look at people's record tastes, very often they have a kind of, you can tell by the niche. But this is just so varied. I mean, I've seen Michael Jackson here. There's Elton John. There's
Kevin Ayers there.
It's just very, very random. Not random, eclectic.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I think he likes. There's certainly an interest in musicians that are interesting themselves.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Kevin Ayres, some of his stuff's completely bonkers and off the wall. You know, I mean, his band, The Whole Wide World, was that's where Mike Oldfield started out, for example.
Oh, right. Yes.
So, and then Robert Wyatt from Soft Machine, who has this incredibly unique, fragile, soft voice. But yeah, it's a real mixed bag. I've kind of loosely put it into genres here.
Yes.
So it doesn't quite look so varied as when I initially looked through. But yeah, so then you've got, like I say, Kevin Ayres, Michael Jackson, Alex Harvey, and then in here, this is interesting. Now, answers on a postcard, because there's a lot of stuff by this band called Hula.
Oh, yes.
And I've refused to listen because I didn't want to like them, because there's so much there. I didn't want to keep it, so I have to sell it, obviously, because that's the hardest part of this job. Is when a collection comes in, it's not taking it
It's
home.
kind of like when you're a dog breeder and the puppies are born, you want to keep them all.
Exactly. Yeah, that must be crucifying, to do that. But yeah, that is the hardest part, is not taking the records home. And over the last, since April last year when I opened here, I've had to retrain my brain from 43 years of record collecting to actually being able to part with records, and it's become quite a cathartic process actually now. I've even sort of gone through my own collection a little bit and put some bits out, and it's great, because it's quite when you've got 10,000 records at home anyway.
Is it at home?
Yes, that's my collection. Yeah, there's kind of a bone of contention around the house, in the spare room, in the lounge, in the hallway.
How many records do you have here? Just
here, I'd say there's around about 4,000, I think.
4,000. So you got more at home actually then.
Yeah, well, my own personal collection's around about 10,000, which I'm going to start whittling down.
Good grief.
And then I've got a lot of spare room at home is full of boxes of stock as well, which I'll now be able to accommodate over the road at the new shop.
Well, that's great, and that brings us nicely, because obviously I'm looking around here. It's a small place. It's really quirky, but you haven't got space, so stuff's like kind of stored. So if you've got a new premises, you can actually put things up.
Yeah,
You're going to take us across the road, and we're going to go and have a look. Right, so that's it. That's the premises. You've got the upstairs, and this is going to be like a little for storage, or?
Well, downstairs we're going to actually start having some events of sorts. So we have PA speakers here from my old studio I used to have, which need a clean because they've been in the porch for a few years now. But they're going to be set up here. We'll have a couch, armchair, where we can do Q&As, signings.
Like a rough trade.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Yeah, like there's a good with Vince Clarke and so forth, not so long ago. Similar kind of thing as that, yeah. And then it'll probably be sort of something of a bargain basement going along here, because I have sort of albums that are £3 each, 4 for a tenner, that kind of thing as well. Because for people starting out, they just want something to, and especially just after Christmas, you tend to get mums and dads bring their kids down who've just got their first record player, and of course they don't really know if it's going to be something they're going to be into at that point. Is it just a fad? So we'll have things like that down here, and it's going to be quite a nice space actually to use.
Harry Potter bedroom.
There's a Harry Potter bedroom, So if I find myself losing my house keys, I'm all right. I know I've got a backup plan. With this wall here, you can project on it as well. There's so much scope for things to happen here.
And when's this opening? You said September the
21st of September, so 11 a.m.
You've got your work cut out for you.
I have, yes, yeah. Well, I'm quite lucky in that respect. And I've got friends that have got fans and stuff that are bringing stuff down. It's quite humbling, how nice everyone's been, and really wanted me to sort of progress with this. You know, it's
You're,
great.
you're a good soul, and as I said before, your grassroots. This is your passion radiates from you.
Yeah,
I feel it. You know?
It's just something I've always loved. You know, as a kid, my uncle was and still is a record collector, and at 5 years old, I didn't have those childhood ambitions to be an astronaut or something like that. I just wanted a record collection, and that was really my model. Really, that second-hand record shop was, because that was my first real interest outside of Woolworths and places like that. That was, you know, when you realised, oh, there's all these other options, and that was the record shop that really inspired me to want a record shop, and that's hopefully the route this is going.
We wish you all the best of success. I'll be back in October to come and see.
Be fantastic to see you. Yeah.
All right, guys, check it out.